Okay, so it is a 45 minutes of webinar which is there, wherein I will be discussing about the trends in the cloud and DevOps engineers and engineering, and what how you can become a cloud engineer as well as DevOps engineer and get a very good job. And even you can, if you're currently working in a specific technology, how the cloud and DevOps will help you out to excel in the market right now. So when I say the job opportunities and the salaries which are being offered, you might have seen that these days a lot of people are getting laid off. There is a lot of reasons because of which this is happening up. One of the main reasons is the, the automation or the AI, okay, which is coming up these days, wherein the manual works are now being replaced by some automations, okay, or an artificial intelligence. Now, because of it, a lot of people are working on some, let's say, some domains like manual testing or any other domains. It might be possible that in near future their jobs might be at a risk because of the automations as well as the artificial intelligence which is coming up in place. So so we have to find up a solution wherein we can be our jobs could be secured, and we can get a very good hike. The pay scale can be increased, and also the job security. With that, we need to have a job security in place as well. So we need to work on like what problems the IT industries has these days is again the skill gap in the emerging technologies. Now people, when they work in the real time, they generally work into one or two technologies. For example, if I am a Java coder or if I work into Python, I do have a limited skill set. Or if I'm, let's say, working as a DevOps engineer only, I will have a limited skill set. Let's say I just have a knowledge about one or two tools, that's it. But when you appear for the interview, at that point of time, they are asking you for a lot of tools. Altogether, on top of it, let's say if you have seen some JD job descriptions, there is there is a lot of requirement which are there. But when you start working into a company, you will see it's kind of a repetitive work most of the time, or the technology limitations are there. You have to work as per your client need and the requirement. At that point of time, your skill sets are sometimes very limited. So again, the skill gap is there. Okay, the demand for specialized skills. So at a point of time, now people have started, rather than hiring a person who has a basic knowledge of Python, they will prefer the people who works on to, let's say, a specific development, let's say API development in this coding language. So in that they get a better expertise, or they get a better expert people, and the work is also done really faster. So again, the demand of specialized skills is increasing with time to time. Again, the global competition is increasing overall. Earlier, when there were 10 people appearing for a job, now there are 100 people appearing for the same job. So at that point of time, if your skill sets are not enough, you will be facing a lot of issues. So to avoid it, okay, we need to have expertise and depth of knowledge. Depth of knowledge means you need to be able to understand the concepts, and you need to have a knowledge about a, a, a plenty of tools, so that you can even appear for multiple job interviews rather than sticking to one or two job interviews. You should be appearing for multiple job interviews as well. Adaptability and flexibility. You need to be flexible. It's not like, for example, you're working on a specific tool. I'm not flexible to work on another tool. That should not be there. You should have leadership potential. So your one of the leadership potential qualities is your communication skills, or you need to have you need to be able to answer the queries. Okay, when someone asks you a particular question, you should be able to explain in a way that the person should be able to see the solutions which you are trying to bring it up from that particular answer. Okay. Whenever the SME takes any interview, they are not generally looking for your answer, one straightforward answer. They are trying to see how you come up with the solution. So at that point of time, if you explain that this could be the problem statement, and this could be the kind of solution which can come up later on, can be, we can say, the leadership, kind of a leadership qualities you have to show within your interviews. Now, the cloud computing, one of the highest or one of the best demanding technologies right now is the cloud computing or the cloud computing career. Yes, wherein it is being divided into multiple parts, wherein you have cloud engineer, we have software developer, solution architect, support engineer. So cloud software developer and cloud support engineers, I will just prefer those for those who were working or who are working into the development in any of the coding languages, preferably Python, Java coding language. I'm not talking about PHP and like PHP or HTML Bootstrap. I'm specifically talking about Python, Java, .NET, okay, Go language. So those people can use or then go for cloud software development. But yes, if you are not from, or if you are coming from any other background, let's say if you were a tester or you were working on some other profiles or other fields, let's say you were a housewife or the you were working as a teacher or the sports teacher or any XYZ technology, the resources previously, then I will suggest you to go with the cloud engineer or the cloud solution architect, wherein you have to work into the cloud providers like AWS, Azure, GCP. It has really a huge market requirement, and you will see your career graph is really going up in that particular case. Now, top hiring companies, when you look at it, there are companies. Okay, there are companies like JP Morgan, TCS, IBM, Accenture, Amazon, Boy. These companies are basically hiring a lot of people, a lot of cloud engineers in their systems. Okay, TCS has around 30 to around 40 to 70% of the clientele which is currently working onto the client, working onto the cloud. So yes, a lot of requirement is there in the market if you have a knowledge about the cloud computing. Now, these are some role-based certificates. Now, what's these certificates are all about? See, when I say cloud, I will explain you what exactly is the cloud computing. But when I say cloud, cloud is basically the three to four companies are majorly providing the cloud services. First is AWS, which occupies around 32% of the market share. Then Azure is there, which occupies around 20% of the market share. And then the GCP is there, which occupies around 8% of the market share. So yes, all of them have their relevant uh, things, but there are three different companies providing the same kind of services. Okay, so when you talk about AWS provides six major certificates. Okay, so one is the cloud practitioner foundational, solution architect associate, solution architect professional, sysops administrator, developer associate, database specialty. These are some of the certificates which is being offered, okay, by the users or to the users by AWS. Now, the benefit of having the certificates is it helps you in the getting the job. If you are already certified, then your doors will open for you. Okay, the doors would be open for you, and you will see that there would be a great hike, or you will be able to identify. Oh, okay. So you would be able to, when you're appearing for the interview, your confidence level would be at a next level. And on top of it, the interviewer will know that you have a knowledge, you have at least some working knowledge onto a particular cloud. It will help you to get the job. Okay. And you will be standing apart from your cloud, apart from the crowd. If you look out of 100 people, only 5 to 7 people go for the certification. So in that case, you would be on the top 7 people, which will help you to get a job really faster. So when you look at the trends, you will see there is a lot of requirement on the clouds. So around 100 plus jobs are coming up, okay, in 1 month. So yes, you will see interest is increasing with time. Okay, these are some of the salary range. So around, if you are working or if you are from India, this is the initial salary range which is being offered to the fresher, which comes around 12 lakhs to 27 lakhs per annum, which is around 1 lakh dollars to $2 lakh per year. When I say DevOps engineer, DevOps role is to automate the complete deployment. I will also talk about it, but yes, these are some of the pay skills which are there. Okay. Now, let's say, let's talk about the cloud. Okay. So when I talk about the cloud, let's understand with a very simple example. Okay. Assume that I am there. Okay. I am there and I want to start my own company. So assume that I am present. So I am here. Let it be. Okay. So assume, guys, let's suppose I am there. Okay. And I wanted to start my own company. So assume that I wanted to start Akshar.com as a company. Now, when I started this Akshar.com, I have two options. Either I should be going with on-prem servers. I should be either going with on-prem servers. Now, on-prem servers are basically the servers. Again, every website, whenever you open any website, it is deployed to a particular server. Every time you will see every website is deployed on a server. Okay. So if I say on-prem server is a physical on-site server. Basically, I have an option. I will go to the market and bring this on-prem servers. Like when I say the server, a high-end server, okay, a high-end server which I'm going to buy and keep it on my premises. Your laptop is also a server, on-prem server, but the laptop is very small server. It can only handle your traffic. If you put a website on your server, on your laptop, and thousands of people will visit, your laptop will crash immediately. But these servers are really powerful servers. Okay. If you have heard about Bitcoin mining, you might have seen that people used to buy the servers. I cannot see any image, but yes, people used to buy the servers and they used to set up that complete servers at their home. So I have one option. Either I need to spend the money, a hell lot of money, like 50, $60,000 per server, and I can buy the server and keep it on my home. This is one option I have. The second option is, now in this case, I need to spend a lot of money. Spending 50, $60,000 is not just a piece of cake. I cannot just go and spend 50, 60,000 into some business which, okay, into some business which does not or for which I'm not much confident about. So what's the solution? What's the solution? Now the second solution which comes up is using the cloud. Now cloud is basically on demand availability of resources. When I say on demand, I want to launch a website akshar.com. I will go to AWS, create an account and upload it there. Upload that particular um, upload that particular website. Okay, upload that particular website to that AWS account. So this is how the AWS account looks like. If I show you, see, this is how the AWS accounts looks like. This is my personal AWS account. So I can create a server, I can launch a website onto this server. This is how the AWS accounts looks like. And I can simply create a server, launch a machine. This is a machine which is being present up. I can simply launch the machine here and deploy my website. So if you open any website, every website is deployed on a server only. There is a place where the codes are being kept, and every website is being deployed to a particular server. Now, this time, what I'm doing, rather than bringing the servers and keeping it at my home, I will use AWS where this account would be there, and I will be accessing from this account. I will be accessing the AWS from this particular account. In that case, the best part is, in that particular case, I will be only paying whenever I use the services. Right now, suppose there is no machine running up, or suppose some machines are stopped. Okay, or suppose there is no machine running up, all the machines are stopped. In that case, my billables will not be there. I don't have to worry about the billables which is being present up. It's like whenever I use the service, then only I need to pay. If I'm not using the service, then there is no payment. But if you're spending 60, $70,000 of amount, okay, onto a service, then obviously you have to pay. You have a capital which you're putting. So just take an example to understand this. Let's suppose, okay, let's say I purchase a BMW car, okay. Suppose I purchased a BMW car, and this car have costed me like $2 lakh, a huge amount, let's suppose, XYZ amount. Okay. Now, that is my capital expenditure. This is the cost I need to pay, okay, to buy this particular car. Okay. Now, on top of it, I need to give it for servicing. I need to pay for wear and tear. If someone put a scratch on the car, I need to pay for that as well. If there is a problem or the servicing is required, then I need to pay for it. It's an operational cost. So a huge amount. Assume that I purchased it for $70,000. So $70,000 plus $2,000 I need to pay every time. So 70,000 is my capital expenditure, one time cost. But on place of it, if I go with Uber, if I go with an Uber, this time, this Uber, I will have an enjoy. I want to enjoy this BMW. So this time the Uber will be coming at my doorstep. Okay, Uber would be coming at my doorstep. And finally, I don't have to worry about spending 70,000 upfront. I will be only paying for, let's say I want to travel for 10 kilometers, $100 bill is there, I will be paying that. That's the only payment I need to make. Otherwise, I don't have to pay for this complete car cost. This person cannot ask me to pay the $70,000 because I'm using a service offered by Uber to use a rented car. Same way, I have a service offered by AWS wherein I can use the services offered by AWS on the pay-per-use basis. So this is what the cloud is all about. Okay, now after COVID, cloud has picked up a lot of speed, and you will see that cloud is one of the most demanded technology right now in the market. I hope you are getting it, yes or no? I tried to simplify it. We don't. I tried to simplify it. Okay. So if you look at it, I do have some PPT also. So same thing, I want to start my hosting application. So I'm John, I wish to start my business. I will buy the stack of servers. I have two people to maintain the servers, everything. And I need to pay for those particular tasks. So it's a very difficult task for me. So I have a cloud computing, which is there, wherein I will be going and creating an account onto AWS, deploy my website there, and ultimately I will be able to deploy my application without any problem. So cloud computing is on demand delivery of IT resources where you need to pay as you go pricing, like Uber. The example which I gave you, Uber is I can say it's one of the examples of cloud only. We have AWS, Microsoft Azure, GCP, which is a Google product. AWS is Amazon product. So AWS is the largest among all of them, and it has around 32% of the market share. It was being started in 2005. Since it's like we can say it's a father of cloud computing, and Azure is again 20% of the market share, so it's neck to neck. And you will see that AWS has really huge market. Every company needs an AWS expert as well as Azure and GCP expert as well. So yeah, now you will see that computing things how it started. So you will see in 2005, in 2003. Uh, in India, I'm talking about, it was launched in 2005 actually. 2003, it might be some testing they might be doing in some countries, but in India, they launched it in 2005. So 2003, it was the first AWS platform was being launched. And in 2010, Azure was being launched. So it's not a very old technology. I can assume that if a technology is around 30 to 40 years old, yes, IT the new technologies comes up. But when you look at DevOps, it's around 7-8 years old, and AWS is around 10, 15, 20 years old. So it's not a very old technologies, and you might not see a lot of artificial intelligence playing a role here. So your jobs are very secured. So cloud computing can be used in automotive, it can be used in healthcare, it can be used in financial activities, it can be used in the transportation, education, manufacturing, energies and utilities, communication and mass media. So yes, you can use the cloud computing in a lot of different places. And it when I pick up any technology right now, you will see the cloud computing is required. If you want to work in companies like Meta, Google, Adobe, so these companies are also using the cloud computing. Okay. If you want to work on companies like IT companies like Accenture, Wipro, Cognizant, those are also using the cloud computing at a very high scale. Any questions till this point? Any questions? I'm just taking a pause of 1 minute so that I can answer your questions. What about startups? Startups are definitely using the cloud computing. The reason being is, again, if you're short of funds, the on-prem is never a solution. On-prem will increase. You need to have a big pockets to use on-prem. Let's say Apple. Apple is using on-prem, but they're charging that much amount from you as well. Okay, a particular simple, if you say any device which is normally which is costing 30 or XYZ amount, you are just paying almost double. So because it also have a data securities which is being present up. So yes, obviously, when I say startups, they prefer the the cloud computing. Cloud computing is being preferred in the startups for sure. Okay. Now we have DevOps. Now what is a DevOps is? Okay, assume a situation. Okay, here there's a definition, but let me explain you with a very simple situation. Assume a very simple situation. Let's say you're working in a company. Now they ask you to deploy the application. Now to deploy the application, what you will be doing is you will be first building the application. Let's say it's a Java application. You will first compile the code. Compile the code means convert the code to a machine readable language, zeros and ones. In easy terms, when I say compiling, see, my computer does not understand this ABCD. It understands zeros binary language. Now, if your computer only understands the binary language, guys, then you need to compile the code. Compiling is required. Okay, just give me 1 minute, sorry. Okay. So, at that place, we need to compile the code. I need to test the code. I need to test the functionality of the website. I need to do a quality check on the code. I need to deploy it. Now, earlier this was being done by separate teams, which were causing a lot of delays. Now, with the help of DevOps, I have automated all the process. So my developer just puts the code to some repository, the storage, and automatically the code is goes through a different processes, and then finally it is deployed. Now the complete automation is done. And who does that automation? It's a DevOps engineer. Now in every project you will see the DevOps requirements are there. After COVID, it is being increased drastically. So it basically it automates your complete process. So this complete life cycle, if you see, which includes testing, releasing, deployment, monitor, all these things can be automated with the help of DevOps. So here we have to learn a lot of tools. For example, we have to talk about Maven. We will be talking about Git. We will be talking about GitHub. We will be talking about Ansible. We will be talking about Dockers. We will be talking about Kubernetes. We will be talking about Terraform. So a lot of tools we are going to talk about in DevOps. DevOps is really a big course which is there. So application of cloud in DevOps. So when I say applications, yes, healthcare applications are there. So the usage of the cloud, obviously, cloud computing increases the efficiency of the industries and decreasing the cost. It decreases the cost to a huge amount, and ultimately it will increase the profits. If the cost is decreased, then the profit is being increased. Okay, so nothing to worry about. There is one case study which is there, which says Netflix cloud migration. So you might know the AWS is currently using Netflix. Okay. So it's the second highest paying client for AWS after NASA. NASA is also using AWS. So here, the problem which Netflix was facing initially was, just try to understand it. See, whenever a new series used to launch on Netflix or some new movie comes up, the traffic increases drastically. At that point of time, let's say normally Netflix is getting 1 million users per hour. But due to launching of new web series or new movies, the traffic increased to 100 million users per hour. At that point of time, Netflix need to see or find a solution. For example, right now, okay, right now, if you see the viewership, let's say right now World Cup is going on. So if you see the World Cup viewership on Hotstar, it's on Hotstar, it's same as Netflix only. So you will see that there are around 403. If you see the number of people who are currently watching live match, 1.3.1 CR, and it can increase, it increases also. But normally these many users does not watch, okay, does not watch a particular series, or these many people are not there. But if any sports, and that too a World Cup is running, we can see the viewership will increase. Now at that point of time, what how it need to ensure that everyone have the same kind of experience. That can only be possible with the help of the cloud. In the cloud, there is some concept known as cloud computing. Oh, sorry, the auto scaling. Now, with the help of auto scaling, automatically scale when the traffic increases. So if traffic increases, automatically my resources will be increased so to cater that much of traffic. And the experience remains the same. And when the traffic decreases, automatically my resources decreases. Same thing happens on the Netflix also. Netflix has enabled auto scaling, which will increase or decrease the traffic as per the need and the requirements which is there. I hope you are able to understand the concept. Are you able to understand? Please confirm yes or no. Have you got it, the usage of use cases of, like, what have you understood what exactly is cloud is all about? Cloud is pay per use of resources. I want to deploy any website, I can go to this the screen which you are there, which you can see, and I can do the deployments there. I can deploy my application onto the cloud. Any questions? Now, if you have any questions, just ask me related to the course. Anything you want to ask here, you can ask me. I will be happy to answer. Guys, any questions? Okay. So majorly, see what happens is whenever a particular trainer covers any particular topic, we actually in AWS, if you are going for AWS, then AWS he or she would be talking about the computing part, wherein he or she will be talking about EC2s, the elastic beanstalk, Lambda. This is like serverless computing. Then he or she will be talking about the databases, where the DynamoDB, Elastic Cache, RDS, key spaces, memory DB. So the particular trainer will explain you or will cover the topics in a way that you will be able to clear any kind of interviews, and also would be able to get a job and even work in the job without any kind of problems. Okay. When I say DevOps, in the case of DevOps, the trainer generally covers the topic wherein he or she will be starting with Git and GitHub. Okay. Then Jenkins is being covered. With Jenkins, Maven is also being covered. Then after Maven is done, Ansible is being covered. Then the Dockers is being covered. Okay. Kubernetes is being covered. Then we have Prometheus and Grafana is being covered. Okay. We have yes. So GitHub, Jenkins, Maven, Ansible, Dockers, Kubernetes, Prometheus, and Grafana. These are some of the major topics which are being covered. Okay. Also, the trainer in between will talk about the basics of Linux as well, so that you can have 100% of understanding. Now, when I say the market share, this occupies around 90%. Yeah, Terraform. Thank you. I was just wondering, I missed something. Yes. Terraform would also be covered. Now, Jenkins around 60 to 70% of the market share. Maven again around 60-70% of the market share. Ansible around 60 to 70% of the market share. Docker is around 80 to 90% of the market share. Kubernetes is around 90% of the market share. Terraform is around 80 to 90%. Prometheus is around 30% of the market share. So yes, all these tools, when you look at it, they have a very huge amount of market share, and you will see they have a huge requirement in the market as well. So ultimately, learning these technologies will help you out in a lot of ways. In your getting the job, getting the promotions, working in the same company, it will help you out to work in the same companies. So yes, a lot of help you will be getting when you're working into these, or when you will start working on it. This is the next future. Okay, DevOps is the future. So next 10-15 years, you don't have to worry about anything if you are getting into cloud or to the DevOps, because in future the demand will keep increasing. After COVID, we have seen around 40 to 50% market demand increasing in the market demand. But yes, in other next 2 to 3 years, you will see it will have plus 100% more than what it's being required right now. So this is a recession-free kind of thing which is being present. But yes, anything could be there in recession. But yes, what we personally have with our experience, when we say this is the best profile right now to work with, and learning this will help you out to curate your careers in a best possible way.